Hey Blake, what's the best advice you've ever been given on parenting, specifically young children?
Good luck. No, I'm just kidding. Best advice. I think the immediate counsel that comes to my mind was actually given to me about 4 to 5 years ago. I was eating breakfast with a man who was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. He asked how he could be praying for me, and at the time, two of my children were 4 and 2 years old. I have three now, and they're 11, 9, and 4. But when they were on that 4 and 2 age, I was going through a hard season just as a dad, just not really enjoying parenting and having some challenges and struggles in particular areas with one of my children. And, one of the things he said to me, and I'll kind of combo this advice, but he said, Blake, do the hard work now so you're not playing catch up later. And what he was basically saying is that I know it's hard right now. I know it doesn't seem like it's bearing much fruit. I know you're saying the same things over and over and over and over again, and you feel like it's going to be forever. But he said, listen, if you are passive now, you abdicate your role as a dad, you get yourself distracted and not focused in on your children while they're really young, it might be too late by the time they become teenagers and in young adults to make up for that lost time. So just even that phrase, do the hard work now, was useful. I think another one more comical was another man probably in his mid to late 60s. He was a pastor in North Carolina. And again, probably in the same year or so, I met him and I told him I was just like exhausted. I was pastoring in Washington, D.C., and life was so busy, and I just felt tired like all the time. And I remember I was confiding in this pastor, and he said, how old are your kids? I said, well, at the time it might have been like 3 and 1. And he said, how old are you? And I told him, he said, oh, I've got kids older than you. And he said, son, you're in the speedboat phase of life. I'm in the pontoon boat phase of life. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, man, at your age and where your kids are at, it is like a speedboat. It is fast, it is chaotic, and it's crazy, but it's not always going to be like that. He said, one day you'll be in my shoes where you're sitting in a pontoon boat and it feels like life is barely going by and it's really slow. And again, I think the idea there is just perspective, that this too soon will pass. In a little while, it'll be a long time ago. And so, I think those 2 words of advice have been helpful for me. It's not a bunch of how-to advices or here's 20 reasons or 20 ways how to best potty train your child. Mine's just more perspective. Do the hard work now, and it's okay to realize that survival might be a good goal in your early days of parenting, but it won't always be that way.